Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, I got my Pearl accessory clamp in. This is the model AX-25, and I got this in from Long McQuade. I am in Canada, for those of you who still haven't figured that out yet. And I deal with Long McQuade for 99.9% of my music stuff. But this is for mounting percussion stuff, okay, like your cowbells and other jazz, you know, that you want to put on your kit. Now, if you got an electronic kit, you don't need a cowbell. You can program that into one of your pads or whatever, or get an Alesia sample pad 4 or one of the bigger models if you want bigger, and do it that way. And it saves a lot of excessiveness on the kit that you may or may not have room for, and it saves you a lot of money on, you know, a lot of extra clamps. It would be like, that's a bit of a waste when you think about it. I like to minimize things myself. Okay, I need space around my kit, but I need practicality, and at the same time. And so I got the Alesia sample pad 4 for this because it would give me access to a lot of extra stuff, especially on the percussion side of things, away from the kit, so I could have whatever I wanted set up for my kit, but then have a cowbell, have a tambourine, have shakers, or bongos, whatever I want for sounds. I can program into this thing, like virtually anything you can think of for sounds. You can actually program into this sample pad 4. But I needed a proper clamp, and I had ordered in, if you've been following my drum stuff on my channel, the actual Alesia mount that's used for mounting things like your cymbals or your pads. And I had to do some modifications with the Dremel and buzz out the inside little ribs that grip things, and get that all smoothed out. And I still had to spread the clamp pretty much about an inch or so in order to get the shaft of this mounting plate shaft to go in there. And it was a really tight fit, and it was maybe 3 threads holding that clamp together. So it's like really not the safest choice, you know, especially once you start wailing on your drum kit, and you can wail on this pad. That's kind of gonna ask for some trouble, you know what I mean? Especially in time. So I thought, well, we need a proper clamp system, but what have we got? And you need a clamp that rotates. Very important to have a rotating clamp. The other clamps, they're fixed clamps, and that's exactly what you got, right? And it's like, well, that's not going to work for this kit. It won't go on, you know. You also have to be concerned about tubing diameters with clamps, because your tube diameter on your horizontal poles are 1 1/8 inch, or well, they're actually 1.1 inches, so they're just shy of 1 1/8. These clamps open up to 1 1/8, so there's still lots of thread there. Okay, so you got 1.1 inch tube on the horizontal, but your vertical plane is actually thicker, where these clamps likely are not going to work for you. Okay, and I haven't tried, and I'm not worried about it, but you know, I also need to be able to have that ability to rotate the thing where I need it. Okay, and so going on the horizontal plane is obviously the best choice for a sample pad, how I have it set up. And of course the bottom portion here, which I've chosen to use as my bottom, because you can do this on either end. It does create a different setup for each way. That would rotate the thing basically left and right twisting. The top one is my angle for up and down, so I can get just the right perfect angle for when I'm doing a drum roll, or if I just need to get access to the pad. It's on the right angle for what I need, and I'm also not going to run into my tom either when I smack the kit, when I smack the sample pad, right? So this became the ideal clamp. Now this is the short version clamp, and I think I paid about $43.99 or something for it. Now it's Canadian dollars, you know, and at Long McQuade, my favorite store. And they do have what's called the AX-25L, adapter, which is what they call their long version. The straight AX-25, this one is their short version. So what you have here is two 360-degree rotatable clamps with gear tilters, gear tilters. Quick release clamps available in two lengths. AX-25, this one is 270 millimeter. The 25L is 340 millimeter, and that is a huge difference too, by the way. And they both open up to, I believe it's 1 1/8 inch, and the tubing on the horizontal here is 1.1. So we were just getting that right, and still lots of threads holding stuff together. That's the big thing. You need to have those threads holding together. So you're going to have to measure your tubing to make sure you get the right clamp. Okay. Now I will have a link in the video description for Long McQuaid's website. You can just do a general search for the AX-25 or AX-25L clamps. You can buy these things like anywhere you want. So if you're not in Canada, you know, go on Amazon, go to your own local music store, etc. You know, whoever carries the Pearl stuff. In Canada, it's like I say, I deal with Long McQuaid. Like literally 99% of all my stuff comes from Long McQuaid. Anyhow, so let me give you a little bit bigger view of this. So I'm just going to shut off the camera for a sec and reset. So with this thing set up and ready to rock and roll, I'm just going to get past the camera here for a sec. It's actually the ideal spot to have this thing set up on the kit. So when you do a roll, you can come across, or if you're, you know, hitting your hi-hat and you want to do something else, it's very convenient to have it right on the right side. Putting it on the left side of the kit is not going to happen because your control module's in the way, your hi-hat's in the way. Now you could also put it across the back bar where I originally had my kit, and the thing is you're reaching over this way too much and you can't get quite the right angle. I would have had to have the long bar kit, but then I'd be running into my crash and my ride, which is something I ran into even having the little tiny clamp, which was this one here. This is an Alesis clamp that we thought would work, and the jaws on this were spread apart over 1 inch, and it was barely only like literally a couple of threads holding this clamp onto the pad, and that's really not a safe thing to do. So now I have a spare clamp, which is great because that's one less clamp to buy. And I can mount a tom with this, or I can mount a crash or whatever. But now this is perfect here. So it's great for just getting into this tight little area here too. You know, so that's ideal. I love it. So yeah, do check out the link below. So if you are in Canada, like I said, I recommend Long McQuaid is my favorite store anyways, but you can go to your own if you have a favorite other than Long McQuaid. Not in Canada, like I said, internet search it or go to your own local music store. But this was $43.99 for this clamp, Canadian dollars, plus tax, and the other clamp is only like literally a couple of dollars more for the long version. And I mean a couple of bucks, like I think it's under $5 more or something. And then you get the longer version, which, I mean, it's kind of, I would go for the long version if you had like a 6 pad or an 8 pad. That would be where the long version would come in really handy, because I don't think it would be very practical with the short version model. So, but anyways, but like I said, you got to be concerned about tube diameter for mounting any of these percussion things on any of your kits, whether it's going on an acoustic kit or an electric kit. You know, these clamps, there are a way to attach them to the acoustic kits too, or to stands. You know, I had this thing first on a music stand that I'm, you know, more or less modified a little bit, but it was too tall and too much on a horizontal plane, so it was a bit of a pain. So I wanted the proper kit, obviously, for this, and this actually works out. As far as you know, the price goes, I think the price is definitely worth it. I mean, this is a really heavy-duty metal clamp. Like, it's going to last for years and years. It'll last forever. I think the quality, fit, and finish is really good. You can clamp this thing down, you know, very snugly. You don't have to reef the heck out of it either, by the way, because you'll crush your tubes on your kit if you do that. You only need to get it, you know, fairly snug, you know, but don't reef on the clamps to tighten it in. You don't need to. I mean, this is not moving, and it's not that hard for me to just simply undo that, you know. And so anyways, star rating for those who love those things, I'm going to put this thing at 4 3/4 out of 5. I see nothing wrong with it myself. I can't really knock it for anything other than the fact that it's not perfect, you know, and nothing ever is. I find that the way it fits the tubing, it's great. It works for me. I did not try to see if it would fit the thicker tubing, you know, because it's pretty much border as it is with this one at 1.1 you know, inches. So, you know, this is going to be a little bit thicker tubing yet, but I mean, if you want to try it yourself, go ahead, but I don't see a need to even think about trying to fit it there, only because this is the proper spot for it anyhow. So if you're looking at mounting percussion stuff to your kit, you don't have like one of these pad devices, but you want to go with analog stuff, okay, so an actual cowbell, an actual triangle. You could do that with your kit, not a problem. You know, it's your kit, do as you like. I just prefer everything in a package like this, where I can do anything I want, you know, and have any sound I want too at the same time. And it's not taking up a lot of space, and, you know, and it makes room for doing other things. Because like I said, my kit is still not maxed out. I can still put another tom on this thing and another cymbal, and that thought has been crossing my mind quite a bit. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do check out the Pro clamps. You know, if you're in Canada, feel free to also go through the rest of Long McQuaid's website and have fun there. I know I do. I go in the store several times a week and get myself into all kinds of trouble, but it's fun. I love it. And we'll see you on the next video. Ciao.